Interleague play sucks. And I know all you people, you fucking old fuck. Yes, I'm an old fuck. I'm old-fashioned. I'm old school. And I love traditional baseball things. Before we get there, this MSN Sports Chat is being brought to you by LegalSteroids.com. They are the title sponsor of our Wednesday Instagram live show every Wednesday at 3 p.m. in the East. Gearing up Muscle Video 30. Save 30% on your entire order at LegalSteroids.com. This is, I'm besides the purist thing, this is what made the All-Star Game really cool when I was a kid. And way before. I was fucking 30 when Interleague began in 97, all right? So, but when I was a kid, the All-Star Game was a big deal because there wasn't a lot of movement like you see now. Guys usually stayed with their teams for the most part. Yeah, in the late 70s, things started getting crazier with the free agency and stuff. But for the most part, guys stood with their teams. Very rarely you've even seen guys change leagues. They felt comfortable in a certain league because the strike zones were different, the umpires were different, they wore the different equipment, you know, with the big poofy pillow in the AL. So guys like to kind of stay in their own league. So the cool thing with the All-Star Game was you got to see a guy like Reggie Jackson go against like maybe Don Sutton, where you wouldn't have seen that in the regular season. And the only way you would see is if it happened in the World Series. Back then, obviously, 77, 78, you did, because the Dodgers and the Yankees made it. So it was just kind of cool. Tom Seaver on the Mets, pitching against, I don't know, you get any American League guy you want to pick, Brooks Robinson or something like that. You know, these were cool matchups that you never got to see. And it also made the bragging rights for the Mets and Yankees because of the Mayor's Trophy game, they called it. And it was played after the Florida spring training things. They didn't even have Arizona spring training then. Everybody wrapped up their spring training in Florida. They headed north with their teams, and they had one exhibition game left, and it was at every year bounced between Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium, and it was called the Mayor's Trophy game. And the Mets sucked back then when I was a kid, and the Yankees were world champions, so it really made it cool. And George Steinbrenner, the late owner of the Yankees, took that game serious. He did not want to just go, oh, it doesn't mean anything, it's a fucking exhibition game. He did not want to lose to the Mets. He hated the Mets, and the feeling was mutual as far as the fans go. So that's where a lot of the Interleague, and it's just too much, there's too many games of it. The worst thing they did was even out the leagues by putting, Houston in the AL. So now it's 15-15 in each league, which means every day, including opening day, there's a Interleague game. Now, in this 60-game post-COVID lockdown edition of MLB, it's different because they don't want guys traveling that much. All right, so it makes more sense. They're going to be playing more regional games, so it makes sense to have more of the Interleague games this year. But wouldn't it have been much cooler if there never was Interleague, and all of a sudden this year, to salvage this season, they said, we're going to implement Interleague just for this season. See how it goes. See what the fan reactions is like. I hate seeing it especially the last game of the year. You don't know what teams are going to be in it sometimes. There's always a team that comes out of nowhere and makes the playoffs. Now imagine this team's supposed to be a shit team, and you have them playing some Interleague game against some other shit team, and all of a sudden that game means everything. This team's going to either make it or win the division or become a wild card team. And nobody thought about that. Wouldn't it be much cooler if they were playing a good team in their division, a team they were fighting against? Like the Braves and the Phillies or something like that. Or the Pirates and the Brewers. And let's just say the Pirates, nobody thought. So the Pirates are scheduled in the original schedule to finish the season against the Mariners or some shit like that. Wouldn't it have been better if they were playing some like the Cardinals, Cubs, somebody in their own division? It would have made it so much cooler. So I hate Interleague play for many reasons, but I do understand it for this short 60-game season. But it would have just made it so much cooler if they didn't have Interleague before this revival, if you will, of the Major League Baseball season.